A gentle reminder, we are waiting for a few more participants to join and we'll start at 2:05 p.m. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, I think we have sufficient audience to start with.
Yeah, Nidhi, good to go. Now I think we are. And
Okay. Okay, so hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you present here. I am Nidhi Chavla and I'm a final year undergraduate from the Department of Electrical Engineering, and also I'm serving as a joint secretary at WIE IEEE ZHCET, and also I'm your host for today's episode of the MS series. And today we'll be focusing on France and Spain. And having said that, I would like to call Maina to introduce our guest speakers for today's event.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It is said that real queens fix each other's crowns. Today, we have two such queens to help us with our crowns. I, Mahina Mahmood, WIE Affinity Group Chair, takes great pleasure in introducing two of our guest speakers of this session. Firstly, we have Ms. Lubna Arif. She has pursued her master's degree in nanoscale engineering from École Centrale de Lyon, France, and also has served as research intern at University of Kiel. Secondly, we have Ms. Atiya Fatima Usmani, currently pursuing Erasmus Master on Innovative Microwave Electronics and Optics from the University of Basque Country, Spain. I feel proud to highlight the fact that both of our profound speakers of this session have pursued their bachelors from our very own college. I feel this thing is the biggest motivating factor for all of us, that people who have studied in our own college and in our very own university have achieved such great heights, so why can't we? This MS series is brought to you by IEEE Student Branch and WIE Affinity Group just to help you realize the fact that sky is the limit for us. As Laura Sebastian said, it's time for a queen to rise. So, with this, I request Lubna Appi to kindly enlighten our audience. Over to you, Lubna Appi.
Thank you so much. That was really a nice introduction, I must say. But I think there was one mistake. I am still doing my master's. I have not yet finished my master, unfortunately.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
nevertheless, okay, I think I should share my screen with you, right?
Yeah, sure.
Um, so, can you all see my screen?
Yeah,
It
it's
is
visible.
visible.
Okay, so before starting off my presentation, I would say if there is any miscommunication or you could not hear my voice, just interrupt me without any hesitation. And okay, so Assalamu alaikum everyone and hello. My name is Lubna. So in this session, I shall be talking about the master's opportunities in France, and I particularly more emphasize on scholarships. And the other session will be handed over to Atiya Fatima Usmani, who is in Erasmus program. So let's start. So this is a very brief introduction about myself. I am a master's student in nanoscale engineering, which is a collaboration of these three universities, UCBL, INSA, and EFIL. I am also a French government scholarship holder of Make Our Planet Great Again, and I did my bachelor's and my plus two from AMU. Presently, I'm living in Lyon. So before I thought like to start the very formal presentation, I thought let's give you a very overview how I started my journey and how I ended up in France. So while I was doing my bachelor's in AMU, I went to Germany for a research project at Kiel University. And after that, I applied in universities in Europe, and there I selected for École Centrale de Lyon. And after that, I mean, at the same time, I got this MOOC scholarship, and I have worked in research laboratories of INL and ILM, and they're quite famous in nanotechnology field. Okay, so this will be our content for today's talk. As you see here, the content are more like the question which I receive in my Gmail or LinkedIn account. So I have, written down them in a sequential order. So the first very important question is which university should I choose? Of course, when you're applying in a university, I mean, we have like plenty of options, like hundreds of options, and we don't know which university we should apply. So while you're targeting France, so the first important thing that you should be looking for is mode of teaching, because in France there are most of the courses are in French, so you have to look for that. And after that, you have to see application fee, because in some courses they ask for application fee, of course, and you have to make your budget, because after bachelor's we are applying in so many universities. And so yeah, and after that we have to see for the course fee, if it's in your budget or it's free or whatever. Okay, one more thing I would like to mention here is, like, if you think there is something very important, like actually in this presentation I have put down so many important things, so it's better if you can write at the same time, and you can also write down your question. And in the end of the presentation, you can ask me as many questions as you want. Okay, so in France, one of the best thing is, like, we have a website called Campus France. It is like a one-stop hub, and it will guide you from soup to nuts. It will have everything. So when you open this website, particularly this one, catalog campusfrance.org, so in this website, you see there will be 3 options. So it will be really helpful for you if you are not sure which field you should apply, whatever you're going in your mind. So you can click there, and also one of the best thing is, like, they have an option called Finance Your Program. So in this option, you can find every scholarship that is present in France for your master's, for your PhD, or maybe undergraduation, it depends. Okay, so now I have listed down, to help you a little bit, I have listed down the universities, and the fees for these universities are very nominal. And in most of the cases, it is waived off if you are a scholarship student. So the first university is, of course, my university, École Centrale de Lyon, where I am doing nanoscale engineering. And it is really a wide field. In my branch, like in my course, there are people from mechanical engineering, electronics, electrical, computer. So you can surely look for that. And if you're planning to apply in this university, you can contact me. I can directly make you contact my supervisor, I mean course in charge, so he will help you more. And the second university here in France, which is in Dijon, is University of Burgundy. And trust me, in this university, we have so many people from EMU. I mean, probably they love us so much. That's why they have so many students in University of Burgundy. And if you go in their website, you have so many options. You can select according to you. And if you are planning, like, other than engineering, economics related field, then we have public policy and development and international masters in public finance from Paris and Rennes, and you can look for that, and you can write down right now. I mean, if you think there is something important, I'm again saying this. And okay, the second important thing is timeline, because I know right after finishing our masters, we are so messed up. We are applying for companies, and we have master option and so many options. So we are not sure that when to apply and what is the best time. So I have mentioned my timing, that how I applied. So our session usually starts final year of bachelor's in August. So around October and November, I started registering at Campus France portal. And in the meantime, I was writing my SOPs and my other documents, and then we have to look for the universities and apply it. Because by the end of March, most of the universities' application and scholarship application are closed. So make sure before March you have done all your thing. And in June, in the beginning or maybe in the end of the June, most of them declare their results. So I hope the results are positive. And then in July, we have our beginning of the student visa procedure. Okay, the second is, how can I get a scholarship, of course. So when you're targeting France, the best thing is in France, you have so many scholarships. Plus, if you're in Indian, you get more options. The first one is UGAM Legrand Scholarship. This one is for master's students, but in this scholarship, they give priority if you have French, and they give €1,000 as a tuition fee waiver, and up for throughout your studies, they give you around 7.5 thousand euro per academic year. The second is very famous. Like, I think almost everyone who is applying for friends, they know about the scholarship, Turpak scholarship. They give around 700 euros per month, and you have to be student. This is only for student. That's why it's very famous in India. So, and the other thing is, like, it depends on your course. So if you're directly coming to in second year of master, so it will be for 1 year, or else it will be for 2 years. And the third is a very good scholarship, which is FPhil Excellence Scholarship. It is for masters and for PhD students both. It will cover throughout your the waiver will cover throughout your studies, and this amount will be around more than 1,000 euro. And they will also give you maintenance allowance and stipends, including your travel from home to the university and back. The other university's my scholarship, which I am receiving, is Make Our Planet Great Again. It consists all this scholarship. It is really good scholarship, but the problem in this scholarship is, like, every year they cover different programs. So, for example, if you're applying this year, so you need to check their website what program they are funding this year. So you can go to the Campus France website and you can look, and yeah. After that, we have an ENS de Leon. ENS is like IIT in India, so it's very of good reputation, and they give scholarship. You can directly apply through their website. They give around 1,000 euro per month. That's good enough. And after that, we have University Paris-Saclay scholarship. This scholarship, I know students from our university, EMU, they have been receiving this scholarship. So it means you have hope that you can also get it. So this scholarship covers, like, for M1 or M2, it gives around 10,000 euro per year, and including your visa and travel expenses. Okay, so the third thing is how is the student life in France? Okay. Basically, if I start to note down every advantage which student receive in France, then it will take me a whole day because it's a lot, to be honest. But the most important benefits. First, I believe most important thing for me is food. When you're studying, and food comes in our mind, how we will be able to manage food in foreign country. So in France, we have crews which are associated with every university, and for scholarship student, they give you for like €1, and it's nothing, like €1 meal, and it looks something like this. It's also you have free visit to museums, and then the other thing is CAF. So in CAF, whatever, for example, whatever rent you are paying for your residence, you will get more than 50% of the rent as reimbursement. I mean, what else do you want more? Because it's a lot. And then we have website like Le Emploi, which will help you in finding your residence, and in, let's say, in finding secondhand stuff and finding jobs. And then we have Tarif Étudiant. I think it's for everyone. Doesn't mean if you're in France or for other, but it gives you discount for students. Also, there are associations after COVID. There are associations that will give you free food for students, and it's every week. The last thing which I would like to highlight is learning French mandatory. So of course, like when we arrive in Europe, I mean, we are very reluctant to learn any new language. But trust me, when you learn the language, things become very, very easier, and it's not that tough. So if you're really willing to learn French, or maybe before coming here or after coming here, the first step is to, of course, learn the basic words, which are you can find in the websites like elearningfrench.com. And then there is a YouTube channel, which I find it very beneficial. They ask local people in French, and it will also help in improving your French too. This channel is called Easy French. And then we have, dedicated tuition center, you can say, from, it's like a collaboration between France and India, like Foundation Alliance Français, and this is their website. That's pretty much the presentation. So if you have questions, you can ask me now, and then Atiya will continue after that. Oh, I need to. Okay.
I think that the chat box is open to questions.
Okay. I just heard. Could you please speak a little louder? I think it's too late now. Why you choose France over USA or Canada? Okay, so in France, there are many factors why I chose France. The first one was the scholarship, and France was giving me more scholarship opportunities. Secondly, I did not want to apply for GRE and all. I just applied for TOEFL. That's it. That's why I choose France. What's your undergraduation course from AMU? I did my electronics engineering from ZHCT. Should we apply for scholarship after we get an admit, or no? You have to apply before you apply for university. I mean, at the same time when you're applying for your master's, you have to apply for that. I want to become a data scientist. How can I apply? I mentioned during my presentation there is a website, and there you can type this word like data scientist related, and it will take you to all the universities who have this program. What about is MBA worth it from AMU? Actually, it depends. Because when you're doing any course, like either it's MBA or bachelor's, it depends on your personal abilities. So AMU is not. I mean, AMU is not like IIT, of course. I would say, but it depends totally on you how you can present yourself. What are your achievements during your bachelor's? And what was your TOEFL score? What score is considered good for France? My TOEFL score was not out of this. I mean, was not so good, to be very honest. But if you have like 80 above for Europe, it's very good. And I'm sorry if I missed any question. Mm, is French necessary to work in France after masters? Are you fluent in French? I'm not fluent in French, but I can speak very basic French to like just to communicate the local people here. And if you are planning to work here as a student job, of course, then it's really important. But I know there are people who don't know French, but they still work here. So for the safety side, I would say learn French. It's not that tough. Mm, we still have, I think, 6 more minutes. And one more thing I would say, like, thank you this IEEE team and IFRA who contacted me for this webinar. It's really good. I mean, it helps in bridging the gap between us and our juniors. Because I know when I was applying for my for our scholarship, I mean, things were very messed up, and we need guidance initially. So it's really good. I appreciate that. If it's okay, I think then I can continue maybe.
I think that we are all. We have covered all the types of questions.
Yeah, I feel so. I hope.
Okay, thank you so much, Lubna Appi, for sharing your experience and knowledge. And also, she has answered all the possible questions. And now I would like to address Atiya Appi to share her experience.
Okay, good morning and assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thanks, Nidhi and Mahina and everyone here for organizing and making it possible for us to share our experience. I think which would be really helpful for my juniors as well as whoever wants to attend. And thanks for Lubna because you made it really easier for me to go down a specific case because you explained in detail everything. So there's not much for me to say, but okay, let's get started. So I think I will sorry, I present. Okay. Are you able to? Is it already shared or no? Okay. I don't know why it's giving me a glitch. Perfect. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, it is visible now.
Okay, perfect. Just a second. So, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
it's clearly visible.
Okay, perfect. So, let's start with my name, that I'm Atiya Fatima Usmani, and I didn't put a lot of explicit presentation, a lot of stuff. I want to go it short and then have as many questions as I can. So as Lubna have already explained to you that about the general case of MS and also taking her really good example, I want to tell you about the Erasmus Masters, which is, I think you are already aware of Erasmus Mundus. It's a very big program by the entire Europe, which gives really good, I would say, it's one of the biggest scholarship donor in Europe. So what I am doing is Imimio, and I know it's like crazily, the name is really crazily big, but trust me, it's not that complex. So it's like Erasmus Masters on Innovative Microwave Electronics and Optics. So let me tell you, what is it. It's a 2-year long masters, like any other masters you would do, like an MTech from AMU or any other masters you would do in Canada, in USA, in Europe. But what's special to this is its mobility. Like you have one semester in one university, and then you have the other semester in the other university, and so forth. So at least you have to make two mobilities. Now, let's get further so that you have a basic idea by the flowchart. I took it from the site itself. So the first semester is in Limoges, which is a city in France, and you have a really good university which is called University of Limoges. And then for the second mobility, like for the second semester, you go to UniBS. I'm sorry, but if you have any problem in listening, because I'm not sure if you are listening me properly or something, so just let me know. And then you have UniBS, and then you have like Unilim and UPV. So now I am currently in UPV in Spain. So I did my first semester in Limoges in France, second in Italy, in University of Brescia, and then the third in Spain. And then you could do it also in Eston in UK. So it's really unfortunate that a lot of people in AMU do not know about this really good program, and it's really fully funded. And um, the people who are going to take part and what their requirements are, they should be from electronics background, or I think maybe electrical, and could also be even from BSc and MSc, not like after BSc because the credits are not complete, but people who have done their MScs in physics can also apply. So let's say that what the course structure is. It's like you learn, I think a lot of participants are from electronics, as I understand. So there could be like nonlinear electronics, which you study digital. And so it's very important to bring into notice, because when we are students in AMU, so we do not have a very professional attitude towards our studies, and we think that it's just like super naive and let's postpone things and not. So I would really bring it into account that please do not try to postpone your exams, because it has a really long-term effect on how you apply and when you apply, and I don't want any of you to miss your deadlines because just of postponing. So this was very important, that what are the requirements. I know that I think every one of you know it already, but it's important to bring it into account. So for this program, it's because this program is like a 4-year program, 4-year project, master's project, which is funded by Europe. And then it is started in 2018. And the last batch for this master's program is this year, like 2022. So there's only 1 year of applications left, and I hope you can apply for this one. And there are other Erasmus masters too. So for this, what we require is like, of course, your diploma, your degree, and of course try to have good marks. But even if you do not have, try to have publications, try to have like as many as extracurricular things which are related, like do a good internship, do publications, do whatever you can do whatever you can make of in 4 years. So also it's important to take your TOEFL, and sometimes it's important, sometimes they do not even need TOEFL like in any other masters, because you have like your bachelor's is done in English, so you can just take a certificate from the dean office, let's say, and then you are, but you have to see before you apply to any university. So which I really wanted to focus here is this, the evaluation assessment, that how by percentage how do they select your application. So let's see. Now, for them, it's from their official website, this data, and they take into your account the marks you get in your bachelor's, like 50%. 50% of the weightage during the selection criteria is taken from your bachelor's marks. So I think it's not like if you do not have good marks, so do not get disheartened, because I was not like a topper. I was like just intermediate. In fact, I went down the slope, like I got even around 6.8 CPA in third of semester, but then I improved, and gradually when I applied it was like 7.9, and finally in the final it went to 8. So it was not that good, but you can still apply, and but it's important, if you have the time, make it good, make it count. The second thing is your research experience. So for me, I did my internship in Variable Energy Cyclotron Center in Kolkata. And then also I did my publications in IEEE. So that's 10% of your publications. I think, okay, it's like previous professional plus the publications in the fourth point. And then of course your language skills. I think that is really, really important, because they take your interview after the application. And then of course the continuity in the career, like how many gaps you took after 12th, but it's okay. I mean, a lot of people take it. And then now coming, which is I think one of the most important point we all have, is our master's fee. So for this Erasmus, it has like a complete, fully funded scholarship. So it's really generous. They pay you around 1,000 euro per month, and like apart from that, a lot of things which you can see, like your insurance. Of course, accommodation is not included, but they give you a generous amount, and it's, you do not need any other thing. Now there's also like self-funded students, so you can also apply and they give you some waivers. So it's like what is included in the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And this again you can find on the official website. The reason why I put a lot of data from the official website is because a lot of people do not know about this really good program, and I think you look up to it. Last year I in fact emailed to Ikram sir, if there are electronics people, I'm sure you might know. So I don't know if you received the email that there's the applications open and some of your maybe seniors applied, because there was one student who got selected, but because of the visa there was a problem. So I think I want to keep it more interactive, and I want you to ask questions.
I think there is one question, sorry. How did you submit your LOR? Did your professor email to directly to the concerned university or some other way?
Yeah, that's a really good question, which I should have already taken into account, is that our LOR in here was not like directly sent. There are two types of LOR submission. So in one, there is like you get the LOR from the professor and then you submit it in your application, and there could be even a direct. So for me in this one was not a direct submission from the professor but from me, so I sent it to the consortium here in Europe. That's a good question. So I
And
really want you to yeah, sorry.
I think Atiya, you can open the chat box. There are questions in
Okay,
the chat box.
let me check.
How can we get international internship? I got one international scholarship, not scholarship, internship in during my bachelor's. There are two ways. The first one is, of course, you can go to the university or the company website, and there you can ask personally to the, there are options like contacts, you can directly contact them. And the other option is like there are website like opportunitiesdesk.com. They regularly updates internships in when you're in bachelor's. So in our time there were people who went for mytex in Canada, and there were people who went to this university in Singapore. I don't exactly remember the name. So yeah, I mean, there are website you can opportunitydesk.com. You can directly check them, and if you would like to name, there are my takes, and then there is a university you can go there.
Okay, so also I would like to add that yeah, it's really great to take internship in an international university, because this will really add up to your CV. And even if you do not find some international internship, you can take up some really good internship even in India, like I did in VECC, which is a branch of Baba Atomic, which was in Mumbai before, which is in Mumbai before. So now it's in Kolkata, and there are like a lot of like in IIT or somewhere else. So it's really good. And what I really recommend is do some publication or do a university, like do a internship like Lubna did in KI. Okay, the second question, I think, did you submit any application fees when applying? If yes, then how much? Okay, so the thing is, while I was applying, there I chalked down a number of universities, and in some, like I was more inclined towards Canada first, and I did pay some application fee around 6,000 or 7,000 per university. So this you have to chalk down, but for this Erasmus, no. And there are other universities in which you do not need to put the application fee. For the Erasmus Mundus, which I'm currently in, I didn't pay like even a single penny, I would say.
I think can you just stop sharing the presentation because it's distracting me. Anyways, there are more questions. If I have a gap of 2 years before joining bachelor's, how does it affect for being accepted in master's? It doesn't affect, to be honest. To motivate you, because in my in my master's, I know people who are, I should not name them, but I know people who are more than 30 years, and they have done their, I mean, they did job and then they joined master's. So don't be demotivated, because it doesn't affect. It depends on you, how you're able to, what are your achievements, prior achievements, and how you can present yourself.
Yeah,
Other
also
than,
I would
yeah.
like to, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. It's an
Okay.
interactive session.
So for this, like about the gap, yeah, as Lubna said, that it's not really important, but somewhere they've taken it into account, like in my university. But it's not that if you have a gap that you can't get in through, because me, I did a gap after my 12th of 1 year, and so I have, and I am here. But yeah, it's like when you like super like 10% which is written, but yeah, not like that important. Just don't think about if you have a gap, I would say.
And I'm sorry, there is one person who, Anika Tasmim, who was like, I missed her question. What about job and PR after graduation? So let me say it's much, much better than the scenario which is happening in India right now, because there are reports which I recently read that India is witnessing one of the biggest, I mean, students migration in Europe and other countries, because talking about job, if you're doing masters, the universities in which you will be studying, they give you opportunities. So I have never heard of any student until now who had who didn't get any job or anything related. But it's very, I mean, certain that of course you will get a job, a good job actually, because you get to learn so many things here. I mean, I believe so. It certainly increases your achievements, you can say. If I have a gap of 2 years, or get it done other than course studies, what are the other things we should try to focus on a second if we plan to do? That's okay. This is a good thing. Like when you're in second year, what you should be doing for if you're planning to do masters from abroad. So me and Atiya were very certain that we have to do master from abroad. So we started in the first year. So one of the best way is to be in touch your professors. They are really the bridging gap, trust me. So they have so many informations, and if you talk with them, they will share with you. And you have to be involved and active as much as possible. Don't look other things, I believe, because in the end, if you go for an interview, they would not even ask for the certificate and other things. They will just be concerned like how much knowledge have you gained in your bachelor's.
Also, it's very important, I think, the perseverance, because when you are applying for masters, so there's a lot of people who are getting placed in TCS, in a lot of companies. So it's very important at that point, because you have a really breakdown, and because the master's result arrive like super late. So for something good, you really have to show your patience. So don't get disheartened. And also, like as Lubna mentioned, it's really important. We underestimate how important and how good faculties we already have in AMU. So really, like, make best use of the professors you have. Just go to each and every professor, even if you are not really that good in the subject, but do not take that in your stride, and just go and ask, like, how can I do, what can I do? And also, one more important, get in touch with the alumni. I think we are really grateful to have really good alumni of AMU, and they really help. So just ask questions, and ask as many questions. No question is small or big. Just ask.
Yes, because every year there are students coming, and this year there are so many people came from AMU, and we welcome them in France and in other countries too. So it's really helpful. I think there is one question. How many month intern considered as good duration? How many months? I don't think so. We get so much time during our bachelor's. We barely have like 2 months vacation. That's the maximum you could do in your bachelor's.
Okay,
And yes.
and there's one question: how much CGPA or percentage is considered good in bachelor's when applying for Erasmus Mundus program? So I cannot give you like the for every Erasmus Mundus program, because to be honest, there are like a lot of Erasmus Mundus program. But for my program, I can say at the time I applied, I had like 7.8, not like really good one. So it was okay for me. But at the same time, you have to take care. If you do not have a very good CGPA or a CPI or whatever, then you have to compensate it from your CV. So either you have good experience, or you have good publication or something. For me, in my case, I had my publications for my triple E. So, but do not worry. Like, and if you are from second year, just start from wherever you are. Get a good internship and do your publications, I would recommend. And even if you do not have a publication, it's not like you cannot get in, but it's important to have as much as you can. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the general scenario after MS abroad, job or research? If I talk about France, it's very common people do here PhD, because I mean, don't compare PhD in France with PhD in India. It's completely different. Firstly, it's just for 3 years in France. Secondly, you don't work alone. You don't have to be panic alone. There, you will always be working along with other researchers. So here, most people prefer to go for PhD, and because the stipend they receive in PhD are very good. That's why maybe. And yeah, but there, of course, there is always a job option which you can always look for if you're not inclined towards PhD or Assalamu alaikum. How can I know about minimum credit required for the different courses in masters from foreign? And if I fell short from that, is there any method to fulfill it? Walaikum assalam. So yeah, I know people not from India, but they came from Italy, and this similar case happened with them. Their credit were not sufficient to apply for our course. So there is a conversion method. So you have to ask with the university, and they will tell you how many credits you need for applying in that particular course. So you need to contact with the university administration. They will do this job.
Yeah, and also sometimes they have it on site. No, Lubna,
Yeah, yeah.
like sometimes they put it. Yeah. Also, based on research perspective, which place would you weigh more, US or Europe? So okay, that's a really pretty direct USA or Europe. I think that's really subjective, I would say, and also like based on your perspective. I think both US and Europe are doing great in terms of research. So it depends like where you want to get in, and I think both have like super good potential. So there's not like one correct answer
Okay,
to this.
there's a very generalized question. Is it possible to get full scholarship to pursue masters in abroad? And if yes, then what's the criteria used? Okay, me and Atiya are already getting fully funded scholarships, which we already talked about. And talking about the criteria, it's like little vague question, because if I tell you, there is no certainty that even after that you can get it. But one thing that I would like to highlight is I receive SOP from my juniors and sometimes from PhD students. And when I look in their SOP, one of the most important, one of the things which I see in common is that there is so many grammatical mistakes. And trust me, it's one of the most turn off point for the application committee, because it's like biggest turn off. So try to make your SOP not very vague. It should be like directed. Why are you here? Why do you want to study, and all these things? There should not be any grammatical mistake. Plus, make your SOP and your LOR. It should not be plagiarized.
Yeah.
These are the most important thing that you need to keep in mind, because in the end I believe you can get masters selection in masters, but to get a scholarship is a thing, and you have to work little hard for that, but it's not impossible.
And also taking that discussion a little further, I think it's as Lubna already mentioned, it's really important your SOP and motivation letter, because you are going to use it even after your masters in getting an internship, maybe in job selections or somewhere else. So, and it's really important to write it down yourself. Like, don't take help, but write it yourself, because it should come from you. It should look that you wrote
And
it.
one more thing is, like, don't get demotivated. I remember when me and Atiya we were applying, so we get like feedback, or you can say reviews. We receive like कि नहीं पूरी scholarship तो नहीं मिल सकती. At least आपको 15 lakhs से spend करने होंगे, 10 lakh to spend करने होंगे. So we were also demotivated, but in the end हमने lose अपनी hope lose नहीं करी थी. So that's, I would say, always be motivated. I know there are so many people at the same time with you applying, but don't get panicked. That's it. Can you please share your SOP and CV? I will write my email address in the chat box by the end of, and Atiya too, by the end of this webinar, and we can share with you in person. Maybe personally. How many universities did you apply to? What's a good number? I personally applied in many universities, and in most of the universities, we got acceptance because yeah, because. Um, the next question is for you, Atiya.
Okay, so for me, it's since your master's involved two or more countries, which countries visa did you apply for? So, okay, when you have a mobility of two or more, one or more countries, so you apply for a Schengen visa. So this is taken care of by the Campus France, and they know you go to them, they take your interview, and you can ask it to them. But for me, it was Schengen. So the Schengen visa basically covers all the countries in European Union, and so you just apply once and then you do not have to care about it. Yeah, like applying again and again. Okay. So are there more questions? And I hope we answered them. Tell about me. Okay, the visa interview, because we were in COVID, so it wasn't in the embassy or something. It was online first by Campus France, because if you go through France, you do it with Campus France, and then you go to VFS and submit your documents, which is like just biometric. So it's pretty simple. Just take care that you, whatever you put in your CV, whatever you put, you have the valid proofs. Even if you are putting for let's say an internship, so you, like, you did it, because I remember that I did some internship online, but I didn't have the certificate and I couldn't complete it, and then I put it on my CV, and then it was a little bit of trouble, and then I had to convince them and I removed that from my CV. So it's really important, put whatever you are really sure, and if you have the supporting documents. Yeah, and it's really simple, the interview.
How to shortlist universities. Uh, I mentioned during my presentation. So when you're applying in any universities, and there is Campus Run website, you go there and you find the university, and even they're not, you can also go on internet, and there is a website called masterportal.com, and there they have all the universities, and you select the filter. For example, your language. A mode of language is English, and then fees and other related filters which you would like to put on. So this way, you can, maybe I can write here in the chat box.
Yeah. Also, it's good, it's a good way, one of the way I think, that how much can you pay while the time of applying, like how much registration fee can you afford, and then you shortlist some of the universities which you really like. And also it's very important to take into account which countries you want to choose, and it's really important, like in Canada it's really cold, and some of the students have like a lot of problem with dealing with the cold. But having said that, you can apply to a bundle of free universities too, like and also to Erasmus courses. And I think the University of Lubna also doesn't have the application
Yeah.
fee, or does it?
Yes, like very negligible. I mentioned down around 4 universities during my presentation. They have like 250 to 43 euros, and that will be if you have scholarship. I'll say which one is best and why.
Okay,
Also
so
depends on your score, maybe IELTS and TOEFL, which one is best and why. Because we can tell you for Europe, in Europe when you're applying, they put the option IELTS/TOEFL. So it's up to you, whatever is more convenient for you.
yeah, also you have to check for the university, because there are usually all the universities accept both IELTS and TOEFL, but some of them like only accept one of the. So you see before you chalk down, and then you just check. And for some, you do not even require IELTS and TOEFL.
Yeah,
Like for
universal
Erasmus, I don't think it is required. Mm,
is getting accepted in master difficult is hard to get, or vice versa.
that's a tricky one now.
I mean, how can you even compare GATE and master? Because GATE, you have to prepare, you have to give a entrance, a kind of entrance examination, and in master, you don't have any entrance examination. Guys, you missed my question. I'm
Can you
sorry.
please rewrite it? Because
Okay.
yeah, maybe we missed. I'm sorry, but can you rewrite if it's possible? Darshil, I have a gap of 1 year of year. I did not do anything during. No, I think I just put it because it's just 10% of the criteria. Do not worry about the gap. I had 1 year gap and I did nothing, just coaching to get into the entrance. So it's not. Do not do not worry about it. I was.
And always look for the compensation method, because of course we are motivating you, but at the same time you should also compensate it. Because for example, as Atiya mentioned, if you don't have a good CPI or first average, then you have to compensate with others. It's not like just motivation doesn't work. Hard work at the same time also works.
Yeah, true. Okay,
How
Rafi, he wrote it again. How
how
does
does
accommodation?
compensation work? I just use
Do you have to?
uh maybe we both can tell how we found our accommodation, right? In my
Yeah, yeah.
case, Campus France was the total in charge. So, including Campus France and my scholarship holder, they were the in charge. So they found apartment. I mean, the residence for me, and they asked me some options and they asked me my criteria. That's it. So in my case, it was the scholarship handler, and for other students who don't have scholarship, the university in which you get selected, they will give you, I mean, they will ask you about the accommodation. Do you want or not? They will do for you. I think
Okay,
you
so
know how
for
it
me, because I moved first, I came to France and it was done by my project manager. So it was taken care of by them, and I didn't have to do just pay and that's it. But yeah, I have to. It it reminds me of a really good story because when I came to Spain, I did the accommodation by myself, like a private one, and we ran into a scam. And so it's really important when you do it like on your own, so it's important to see if it's for real because we ended up losing like 1,200 euros, which is like, I don't know how much. So
maybe
it's
we can do a session after, I mean,
yeah,
some
yeah. It's
how
really
to
important that
avoid
because
these
scams
scams.
happen not only in India. Yeah, it could happen anywhere.
It's very common, I mean, in Europe, especially when you're in capitals, cities like in Paris or in
True,
Spain, some city, this scam is very common, and
true.
we could do a
Absolutely.
session maybe. Uh, Best way for preparation for IELTS and TOEFL. We prepared online. There are on the website of IELTS. There are some practice session. I mean, last year question paper. I think that's the best way. You can just practice yourself with the last year question. I mean, papers. That's it. Hmm.
I think that both of our speakers have shared a lot of their experience and knowledge, and they also have answered the maximum possible questions from every area which can be asked. And I think that it was a really very interactive session. And now I would like to call Pratima to present the vote of thanks.
Hey everyone, I'm Fatima. I'm from pre-final year electronics engineering, and I'm also a member of IEEE Women in Engineering Affinity Group. Today, I take the privilege to present vote of thanks on behalf of our whole IEEE student branch AMU and Women in Engineering Affinity Group. First and foremost, I express our deep gratitude to both of our keynote speakers. Thanks a lot for connecting and sharing with us your insightful presentation and for the whole Q&A session. Also, I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to our chairpersons, coordinators, our branch coordinator, and all the office periods for making this MS series become such a great success. And I extend my heartfelt thanks to one and all who have put in all their efforts to contribute in organizing this webinar of the MS series. Last but not the least, I thank all the students who are present over here for their support and cooperation. Thank you, one and all. Also, we'll present the certificate. Who's presenting, Nidhi?
I think Sabahat is going to present the certificate. If it is with you, you can also present.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
No, it's not. Yes.
It's really nice.
Okay.
It's really
And
generous of
also
you.
this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Keep organizing these such kind of webinars, and If anyone wants to, have any question after, you can just write us email.
Yeah.
I wrote in my presentation. Do I need to write again? I don't know.
Yeah, I would encourage all of you, like, no matter what kind of questions you have, how many questions you have, and like whatever is small, it doesn't matter. Just reach out and talk. We would really be happy to help.
Okay.
And also, before ending the session, I would like to announce that we are planning a specific mentorship program with our speaker in continuation of this session for guidance on specific things such as SOP, LOR, accommodation, etc.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good initiative, I must say. You are doing a good job, IEEE team. Yes.
I wish हमारे टाइम पर भी ऐसा कुछ होता जो हमें गाइड
True,
करता
true.
था.
Such में. That's all good. But the university hasn't opened yet now. Like, it's online, your classes up till now? Okay, maybe they didn't get it. Okay. So I guess that's it.
Yes, I think it was a really interactive session, and we can end this session.
Okay, thank you so
Perfect.
much and all the
Again,
best
I
to
would like to
everyone.
thank both of you.
We'll see. All the best.
Thank you.